With YouTube demonetizing independent media, please consider becoming a patron today for just $1 per month. Link below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and the Boy Scouts are going to undergo a gender reassignment surgery this week. I don't think there's really other way to describe it other than calling it that, because they're losing the boys. They're clipping the twigs and berries. They're just going down to Scouts. They're going gender neutral. Why? Because last year they announced that they were going to be bringing in girls to the Boy Scouts, and oh boy, did that trigger a whole bunch of people out there that were just furious, especially the Girl Scouts. They mad, but they've also done nothing to change or adapt or grow, outside of the one girl selling, Girl Scout cookies outside of a pot dispensary. That's a solid play. But people aren't too happy, really, about the Boy Scouts changing things up. So let's take a look here. Now, the Boy Scouts of America dropping the word boy as girls are welcomed into the program. And like I did say, this was something they already announced. I was actually all for it because my sisters were in Girl Scouts, and I don't remember them doing anything remotely similar to what I did when I was in Scouts. I was in Scouts from freaking Tiger Cubs, right? To Cub Scouts, to Webelos, to Boy Scouts. Never made it to Eagle. Didn't really have the drive or ambition to get to that particular point, but I made it through the other 4 rungs, and I liked it. I had a great time. Learned a lot of valuable life lessons about how to carve shit and burn shit. Good stuff. But looking at Girl Scouts, it was never like that. It was basically, oh yeah, let's earn these badges for sewing and cooking and very, well, very much backing gender norms, right? That are gender stereotypes that obviously the regressives are usually trying to push back against, but because the Boy Scouts are changing things up here, they're actually attacking them. It's a very weird position to find ourselves in. Now, it says here that the Boy Scouts of America is moving to a more gender-neutral name, dropping the word boy from its signature program. The landmark change comes nearly 6 months after the iconic organization announced the expansion of its program to allow girls to join. Starting this summer, and well over a year after the group began allowing transgender children to register. And I mean, yeah, they kind of, once they started once they said okay to the trans kids, they were going to let in the girls as well. But we can have a discussion about whether or not a child can determine their gender identity or if it's a parent pushing it. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, now the Boy Scouts of America will reflect this inclusion throughout all of their programs. Starting in February 2019, Boy Scouts, the older youth program meant for kids from ages 10 to 17, will just be known as Scouts BSA. So yeah, when you were, like I said, you start off, if you go from the beginning, you're a tiger cub, right? You go around, you sing carols at hospitals, you do little things, then you become a Cub Scout, learning the ropes a little bit. Then you get to a little bit older, you become a Webelo. Still haven't quite figured out that name over the years. But anyway, after that, you hit the age 10, or you get around, I think for me it was 5th grade, so yeah, age 10, you become a Boy Scout, and that's 7 years of your life, and you rough and tumble it out in the woods. You get merit badges for different things. You go on scouting trips, and I had a blast in Scouts. Because it was out there learning the land. It was we go to scout camp, and I would take archery classes, and I would do marine biology, and I would learn stuff. I get to spend a whole week out in nature. But the girls don't, as far as I know, the girls don't really get that. So they're missing out on a very interesting part of a tactile life experience, going out there and learning it hands-on. Even though it says through the program, boys and girls will pursue the same activities en route to the Eagle Scout honor. And that's a good thing. Cub Scout, meant for kids ages 7 to 10, will remain as is, as will the organization's overall name. Yeah, because Cub could be whatever, right? That's a generally gender-neutral thing. Now, it says here that Michael Serbaugh, the chief scout executive of the Boy Scouts, says, as we enter into a new era for our organization, it is important that all youth can see themselves in scouting in every way possible. That is why this is important, or it is important that the name of our scouting program for older youth remain consistent with the single name approach used for the Cub Scouts. So then also they have a new slogan, apparently. It's called Scout Me In. That's pretty lame. Not going to lie, but okay. It says here that the scouting organization is composed of nearly 2.3 million youth members between the ages of 5 and 21 and approximately 960,000 volunteers in local councils throughout the United States and its territories. In 2015, the organization also took another step forward, ending its ban on gay scout leaders. Now, that was a big point of controversy back then, but you can see that over the course of the past couple of years, the scouts have started to change. They become more inclusive. They've become more accepting of everybody. And I'm not against that one damn bit. I don't like seeing kids get excluded from learning these experiences or having these experiences. But here's the thing too, is I think what they saw was you know, they've got the 2.3 million youth members. Their numbers have also been declining, right? People aren't going as much anymore. They have to do something in order to get the kids in there, and allowing girls to join into the program to also go to reach Eagle Scout is not something that ultimately should be, I think, a gendered thing. You know, people in the comment section might entirely disagree. They might think that this is a bastardization, that the Girl Scouts have the Girl Scouts, but the Girl Scouts have always just been kind of like a home ec side of scouting, you know, and maybe, just maybe, they should combine the two, right? Men should learn how to sew, how to clean, how to, you know, sell cookies. I mean, granted, in Scouts, we sold, what was it? We sold wreaths. We sold a bunch of other stuff. We planted lots of trees. It was really cool. Going back, when I moved back to Portland a couple of years ago, driving past a park that my scout troop back in like the early 90s planted the trees at. And getting to walk through that park playing Pokemon Go with my friends, and seeing that the trees that we planted, you know, over 20 years ago are still there, right? Like, that was pretty cool. That was my, a small contribution to my neighborhood, to my community I grew up in, but it was a scout thing. So, like, you know, and I don't know if the Girl Scouts ever had that. My sisters never talked about anything involving that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm just saying, I support this idea, if you can't already tell. Now, but not everyone is happy with the Scouts, Boy Scouts' new direction. The Girl Scouts of the USA previously encouraged Boy Scouts of America not to recruit girls, saying our experiences are created for and with girls. Andrea Bastiani Archibald, the Girl Scouts' chief girl and family engagement officer, told USA Today, I think it's important that we consider what appeals to them and what benefits them the most. Currently, the Girl Scouts do not allow boys. So, what does this tell you? It tells you that the Girl Scouts aren't willing to grow. They're not willing to evolve, right? And they want to keep it separate. They want to keep the gender separate. They want to keep the boys and the girls separate because, oh, our programs are tailored for women, are for young girls and young women and young ladies. And that's what we do. We grow with them, right? We all blossom together, sort of thing. But is that really, like, don't you want everyone to kind of have access to the same stuff? To me, that's my definition of equality. My definition of equality is everyone has access to the same educational tools and the same programs, and then they're able to make of their life what they will. The Boy Scouts opening it up to have girls come into the program, and it's not a co-ed mingling thing. There will be separate programs. They get to follow the same path to success. But they're not going to be like, you know, you're not going to go to Jamboree and it's going to be like a gigantic fuckfest or something, you know, of all the teenagers that are like, oh, hormone based. Hey, you want to go burn something and get down? Like, that's not going to happen, at least not right away. I mean, maybe eventually one day they will do a co-ed thing, but I don't think so. I think they're going to keep it separate in order to then keep a problem like that from happening, because that's what a lot of the argument has been. It was the same argument popped up when they had put a ban on gay, you know, scout council or scout, you know, leaders and whatnot. Right. And they're just like, won't someone please think of the children? And that's the thing. And now they ended it. They ended it. And you know what? The Scouts have changed. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with growing as an organization, because again, they saw the writing on the wall. Membership was down. And this is a way for them to basically get access to half of the population who may be interested in wanting to go down this path. And the Girl Scouts aren't doing anything to change their program. They're just like, no, come here, come here. So what we're going to see come out of this probably is we're going to see a number of women coming out against this. We're going to see probably a further regression of the Girl Scouts going back into more of the gender stereotypes and gender norms that the feminists in the world like to rally against. But those same feminists will protect Girl Scouts because they think that they have to, because it becomes another part of the culture war. It becomes a part of an identity, you know, an identity thing. It's a narrative they have to go after. And so that's where we kind of find ourselves, I think. And as a result of that, I just can't help but chuckle, because the Boy Scouts are coming out saying everyone matters. And the Girl Scouts are saying, no, they don't. Let's stay separate. And please don't do it, because they're only going to hurt us. But anyway, what do you guys have to say about this? I'm curious. How many of you out there who are in Scouts or not in Scouts think this is a good or bad idea? Do you think that this is going to end up hurting children? I've seen some people come out, some very right-wing people come out, and they are upset about this. You know, one guy's like, I was an Eagle Scout and this is a disgrace. Is a girl being an Eagle Scout going to take away from you having your Eagle Scout? Is it going to diminish your accomplishment? Is it going to, is it going to take away from that? The answer to that is no, it's not. And it's a very backwards way of thinking. I like the fact that the Boy Scouts, like I mentioned before, are pushing the equality side of things. I'm totally okay with that, and I look forward to seeing what comes from this. Whether good or bad, it's a step in a direction. And it's a step that is more inclusive and is for everybody, and that to me is something that's cool. I don't know if my daughter's going to want to go into Scouts when she gets older, but if she says, I want to be a Scout, I'm going to push her towards the Scouts of America, right? Not Girl Scouts. I'm like, look, do you want to sell cookies? Or do you want to learn how to fish? Do you want to learn how to carve? Do you want to learn how to do all these arts and craft projects? Do you want to do the boxcar races, and you want to go on camping trips, and you want to go do all these things? I'll end it with this. One of my favorite Boy Scout experiences was when we went on a trip. My grandfather was one of the chaperones. My grandfather, very, very inventive guy. We were camping by a river. It was during salmon spawning season. He had his license to catch salmon. So everyone there was like, oh, cool. And we were watching the salmon going up the stream, and he was like, oh, I got a license to do it. And he pulls out his fishing rod and he starts, teaching us how to fish right there, how to catch salmon, and then ultimately some really good dinner. And that's an experience that happened because of Scouts. My grandpa's a cool guy. And so like, I would love for my daughter to have that kind of similar experience. I'd love for any kid to have that kind of similar experience. That's why I'm all for this. And whatever happens, I hope it is for the best, but we have to wait and see. So anyway, thumbs up the video if you guys like it. Comment below definitely. Subscribe if you're new. Share the video around if you wanna help spread the word. If you want to support the channel, best way to do that is through Patreon right now. Like $1 helps out quite a bit. Or if you just want to watch more content from me, and I hope you do, you can do so right now. Hey, thank you very much for watching the video. Be sure to hit that subscribe, click on that bell, and follow me on social media. It's the best way to stay up to date on all things Mundane Matt, as well as check out 3 Buck Theater and the Russell podcast streaming Sunday through Thursday, 9:30 p.m. on russell.net. Thanks very much and have a great day.